Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be speaking about Doctor Who. We're Series 12, Episode 7. Series 12 has been a lot better than Series 11, but there's still a lot of issues, especially politically, in my personal opinion. But let's get into Episode 7, which is titled, Can You Hear Me? So guys, what did I think of Series 12, Episode 7, Doctor Who, Can You Hear Me? Well, spoiler free, I really enjoyed this episode. This actually is potentially my favourite episode of Series 12. I thought it had a lot of character development. The villain themselves were cool. If you're a fan of classic Who, there are some nice little nods in there for you. But as I said, the development, the monsters, the story itself is good, but it's really clunky. However, there is a lot of payoffs. The writing is still not as great as Doctor Who can be, and I miss the spark that the writing used to bring, as well as special effects. But spoiler free, go and watch it. It is worth the watch. This episode is quite enjoyable. Let's get into the spoilers. So yeah guys, this episode I really did enjoy. Zelen himself was one of the highlights as a villain. I liked the twist how Graham, and I liked that Graham had quite a bit to do rather than being comedic. He had a really good one-liner as well in regards to comedy when the Doctor asked him what planet he saw, and he said, "Oh, give me the list and I'll tell you." No, got no idea. Really had a laugh there. But Graham himself being the one who contributed to this story, even though he was the one who let the prisoner free by the Doctor going to this location, was really cool. I enjoyed this. Now, there was different development. There was Ryan's friend that we saw in Spyfall. They were taking shots at basketball, I believe. And he was pretty cool. He was going through things. And this episode addressed mental health. Now, I thought that was a big step. I didn't know if it was the right thing to do for Doctor Who, and I'm on the fence about this subject. Mental health is very important. As people ourselves, we need to look after ourselves. So if you are going through anything, remember that everyone is here for you. There are numbers available. But I just didn't know how it would fit in Doctor Who. Now, for the most part, I really enjoyed this. But as you think about it, if this was an episode being shown in a school, for example, in relation to mental health, I don't think it works. That's the only thing I have wrong with this episode. As I said, the writing isn't just... There is some shit lines in this. The villain Zelen uses his hands, his fingers, to detach and basically go in people's ears, progressing nightmares. Now, I like this, but some of the lines, like, here to lend you a helping hand, and oh my god, there was not much that I didn't like about this episode. Doctor Who is not what it used to be, and I need to get over that. It is a cringy, funny, completely different tone. I thought this episode was quite dark. As I said in the spoiler free at the start, I felt like it was really clunky. It was even too hard to piece together, but once we got the hang of it, it was cool. I think I liked that Ryan got to see his mate as a Dreg in his nightmare. I'm wondering whether that means that Orphan 55 Earth is now canon, or whether it's a one series thing, because we've seen so many different types of futures for planet Earth. Who knows? Jodie Whittaker's Doctor herself was fairly good this week in relation to her mystery, but she needs to stop letting random people onto the TARDIS. It really pisses me off. The Syrian companion, there were once again, the issue with Doctor Who is there is a lot of characters to follow, and that's what gets hard. But the Syrian companion was pretty cool, but I just didn't feel like there was a need for the TARDIS, her to go in the TARDIS. We've had so many different companions in the TARDIS this season, and I'm just like, God. Now, Yaz herself, I haven't enjoyed Yaz for the most part. This is probably the first episode in 2 series that I enjoyed her the most. Her backstory and what she was going through, and the fact that she ran away from home almost did something stupid. Her sister saved her life. We had references to this. I believe it was the Witchfinders that we had like little clues. There's a hair there in relation to this type of story, and I thought she was really good. As I said, it would have been nice to see her do some police work. Like, there has not been anything since she became a policewoman, but this was good character development for all our characters. Now, I really hope they're not foreshadowing, but they probably are, Graham's cancer. Graham's cancer really hit me. That scene with Grace was really powerful. I really enjoyed it. The fact that they didn't know who they were. And then Grace is like, why couldn't you save me? Really creepy. Zelen himself was able to create some really cool fear. He referenced some classic Who, which I absolutely loved. He revealed that he's an Eternal, which have not been seen since the 70s series, I believe. It was Peter Davison. The Celestial Toymaker was referenced, and these gods were creating these fears as a game, which really brought the Toymaker about him. And the Guardians were even referenced. This guy reminded me a lot of the Black Guardian. And you can even say the White Guardian is an anti-villain. Maybe not a villain as such, but they're both referenced the Guardian race. This episode really did feel like an episode where Classic Who was brought into it quite heavily, but everyone missed it. The fact that Eternal returned was pretty big. And the trailer gave away a lot of this dude. It was strange how he could get into the TARDIS. I just didn't understand that. I was surprised. I kind of thought this could even be the Shakri, because Chris Chibnall wrote The Power of Three, and the character was really good. But the twist itself really did work. I really liked the twist that this woman that was trapped inside, and I love the animation sequence that she told. It was awesome. Awesome. One of the highlights of the series, that animation. I did not expect that. Didn't see it coming. Loved it. But her herself, a good villain. Not as good as Zelen. I thought Zelen was so powerful and enjoyable. But the fact that they were working together, did not see that coming. And as I said, that scene with the planets and Graham really did work. I rated the Nikola Tesla story as my highest for this series. I think that episode would go down one under this, or even tied together. For the most part, this is a really fun episode. The ending just got shitty dialogue though, and I was just cringing. This whole scene between Graham and the Doctor that's meant to be wholesome. Now, I can understand that the Doctor is an alien, so she doesn't register under human emotion, but she's always shown compassion, respect, and care for companions. For her to say she's socially awkward when Graham is worried about dying from cancer was fucking pathetic. Almost ruined the episode for me, but I can't take anything away from it. The fingers were cool but cringy. The music really needs work. The music is absolutely terrible. I miss Murray Gold so much. Hopefully the finale has some good music, and hopefully this finale is where the budget's going, because the budget hasn't been great. I really did like the ship that they were all on though. There was a great shot in the trailer. But look, for the most part, I really did enjoy Can You Hear Me? One of the better episodes of the series, enjoyable. And in addressing issues, it wasn't as bad as the political issues that we've been dealing with in Orphan 55, in Praxeus. But this was really different. Look guys, I enjoyed Can You Hear Me? And I'm going to give Can You Hear Me I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. I really did enjoy this. Look, there is a little bit that was disappointing, but that's just Doctor Who, and I'm getting over that now and appreciating and loving the show as a whole and the fact that it's still around. I really don't know how much longer this show will last. The ratings have gone down, the writing has gone down, but it is still enjoyable, and we all sit down and watch it, and it's all a guilty pleasure for it. But next week, we're back on fucking Earth. I'm getting over this. There has to be a plot line involving why the Doctor is not able to go to other planets this series. If we go to only Gallifrey in the finale, I am going to be so disappointed if there's no payoff to this. Speaking of payoff, they need to pay off Ruth's Doctor. that was seen in Prisoner of the Judoon, which I don't know if they're going to do this series. We'll have to wait and see. The lone Cyberman that was also in that episode, mentioned by Captain Jack Harkness, I do think that will be paid off, unless, who knows, the lone Cyberman could be Missy. But in this episode, we got a little tease of the Timeless Child. The Timeless Child was shown as this little dark-skinned kid, and it kind of looked like Ruth as a kid, potentially. Now, I do think that the Time Lords, the founding fathers of Gallifrey, we might even see a cool scene with Omega, Rassilon flashback. We're experimenting on certain children of another race and stole regeneration energy. That's what I think is happening in this series, but how it ties in with the Cybermen is going to be interesting. Anyway guys, what did you guys think of Doctor Who? Can you hear me? Did you enjoy it? Were you disappointed? I know there are a lot of people that were disappointed by this episode, and a lot of people said it would be the blink of Chris Chibnall's era. I don't think there'll be an episode of Chris Chibnall's era like that. Really looking forward to the finale. Next week we've got Frankenstein, maybe the Cybermen, maybe these ghosts are the Cybermen, the haunting of Vila Diodati and Mary Shelley. Anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. Please do subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.